The Guru and the Conqueror. Once upon a time, there lived a guru and a conqueror. However, they were not always called this. Just like anyone else, they started out as kids, with little understanding of the world. As a child, the conqueror grew up in a family that had little resources and many struggles. The same went for his village. Often, friends, siblings, and himself would go to bed with no food in their stomachs. Usually, his parents wouldn't come home at night to scrape together extra money. Always, the boy felt and saw the pressure upon those he loved, including himself. Outsiders from the upper class would openly say, a community of such disadvantage was perfect for those wanting to take advantage. This drove the boy to crave success. He aspired to push beyond these hardships, to become rich and famous, to spread his name across the land for all to know, to put the name of his village on the map, to put his mom and friends in the houses they all deserve, to ascend all possible limits of the human body and master nature, to conquer every aspect of the world so he could make sure nobody would ever have to endure such hardships again. The guru grew up much differently. She came from a well-to-do family that had everything they ever needed and more. They had horses and carriages to get around. They would take family vacations to faraway lands multiple times a year, and even had paid servants to handle the gardens, cooking, and general house upkeep. Although she had everything she needed, she always felt something was missing. On a family vacation to the mountains, she went out on her own. She found a small village of people who lived off the land and mined the mountains for minerals. She found another girl her age and struck up a conversation. The village girl shared stories of her friends, the mountains, and the happiness they brought her. The young guru felt the excitement radiating from the village girl and was intrigued. She went to a middle-aged man and asked of his life and stories, where he shared the pain of recently losing his wife. The young guru felt tears roll down her cheek as a deep pain of heartache overwhelmed her, as if she lost someone too. She was then approached by an elderly woman who silently kneeled down before the girl, took her hand, and opened it palm side up. Staring intently at the hand, the elderly woman said, "You have an affinity for feeling and understanding others. Use this gift." The lady grabbed her other hand. "Ah, and when you come across the perfect place to meditate, only spend one day and one night. Then move on. Value does not equal time spent. The time spent is what shall be valued." The girl headed back to her family, questioning what all this could possibly mean. As time moved on, the guru and the conqueror began to question deeper what they wanted and how they may attain it. The conqueror went out into the world and began to explore. He climbed the tallest mountains to stand upon the highest peaks. He found the deepest oceans and dove to depths no other person had ever gone before. He traveled to faraway villages and kingdoms he had only heard stories of. He studied the human mind, what drives people, how to inspire others, how to bring people together. He learned of the natural world, of plants, animals, minerals, weather, and waterways, and he pushed his mind and body to constantly ascend all possible limits. The guru left home to learn more of people in the world. She went to each village, town, and kingdom that crossed her path and listened to every single resident's life story and thoughts. She spoke to people of all religions and faiths. She learned of culture and diversity. She gained perspective on emotions, needs, and wants. She began to meditate and look within. She discovered the ability to unlock secrets of the human mind and natural world through philosophy, and she promised to absorb as much knowledge and wisdom that the world could possibly offer her. In what felt like such a short time, many years had flown by for the two. The Conqueror woke up at the crack of dawn, as he always did. He slowly sauntered into the bathroom for his morning routine. He brushed his slightly yellow-tinged teeth, washed his now wrinkled face, and combed his long white beard. Heading out for his daily morning walk, he meandered down the stairs, passed through the kitchen, making sure to say hello to the chefs, and exited the castle. He walked to the edge of his property, waving to the groundskeepers, and began on a small, familiar forest trail. He leisurely strolled through the forest until he came to the opening of the large green field where at the center his favorite sitting boulder laid. However, he was surprised to see somebody else laying completely motionless on the boulder. He had never seen anybody else there before, so he wandered over to the stranger, who had still not moved an inch, cleared his throat, and said, "Excuse me, are you okay?" The guru raised a hand to block out the sun from her eyes and opened them to a squint. She replied, "I'm doing just fine. And you?" The Conqueror replied, "I'm well. I was worried since you were so still. I spotted you from the woods and walked all this way. I wasn't sure if you were asleep or injured." "No worries. I was just meditating. And this is just such a peaceful place. I've wandered through many villages, kingdoms, and forests, and I'm unsure if I've ever found a place so serene." "Yes, I know all about it. This is the perfect place to relax and drift away in thought. I've done it more times than I can remember. But, are you from around here? I can't say that I recognize you, and I know almost every resident of this kingdom." "You must have a keen memory. I'm not from around here. I travel with the wind. Wherever seems to be a nice, peaceful place, I wander that way and find a spot to meditate." "Quite interesting. But, sorry, where are my manners? I haven't introduced myself yet. Hello, I am called the Conqueror." "Wow, a conqueror. Why are you called that?" The Conqueror grins and says, "If you were to stand atop the tallest mountain of this land and look in any direction, all that your eyes would see, and even beyond that, is my kingdom. I have climbed the tallest mountains, swam to the deepest depths, and traveled to the furthest lands known to man. I learned of all natural resources and mastered the minds of human to assist in the unification of every small village, town, and kingdom that once stood separate on this land. I grew up very poor, and my family struggled every night just for food. And now, not one person in this entire kingdom goes one night hungry or has an unnecessary struggle due to my efforts. That is why they call me the Conqueror. Because I have conquered all of the human and natural world around me to make it a better place. But enough about me. I'd like to get to know you. Who are you?" The guru's face was still carrying a bright smile from listening to the Conqueror, but she began, "I am called the Guru. I come from a well-off family, but never cared for the possessions or money we had. I wanted to know true happiness, so I began traveling and meeting people from all walks of life. Through these journeys and lessons, I've discovered the truths of our world. I've attained the answers to the largest questions of life. I know the answer and have reached true happiness. I know what it means to achieve perfect peace with oneself. I have even unlocked the meaning of life. Some have said that I have reached a state beyond the human mind, called enlightenment. That is why many have given me the title of Guru. Amazing! Have you ever taught these lessons and secrets to others? Unfortunately, no. These lessons transcend words and teaching strategies. They can only be learned through a way of life. Well, not to be rude, but what's the point of having these things that are so profound if you can't share them with others? Ah, I see where you're going. But allow me to ask a question. What is the point in providing so much for all of those around you if it inhibits them from attaining true happiness and clouds them from their life meaning? The Conqueror stares into the sky for a few seconds, then says, What a beautiful way of framing it. The Guru and Conqueror sat atop the boulder, conversing and laughing long enough to watch the sun set and moon rise. Looking up into the nighttime sky, past the moon, beyond the stars, and into the dark regions of the universe, the Conqueror said, "Don't you just wish these moments could last forever?" The Guru replied, "With all honesty, I do. But I know they can't." Well, the least I can do is invite you back to my home. I have delicious food, a nice guest room with a warm bed, and anything you might need or want. I appreciate the offer, but I must stay here for the rest of the night. A wise woman once told me of this moment decades ago. You indeed have such an interesting life. Well, if you don't mind, may I stay and continue our conversations? The Guru, still staring up into the nighttime sky, smiled and said, "Of course." The two continued until they both slowly fell asleep atop the boulder. They woke up to the sun rising with stiff backs yet rejuvenated souls. The two stretched, gathered their belongings, and prepared to leave. I cannot thank you enough for sharing your amazing life stories and lessons with this old man. I understand you must go, but know you are always welcome in this kingdom. Thank you, and I have gained much more than words may describe from our short time here. This old lady will surely remember our conversations and the life of the great Conqueror. Just like that, the two went their separate ways. The Conqueror to his castle and the Guru with the wind. However, as years went on, the two never forgot one another or their time at the boulder. They both came to understand through their own ways the lesson the old woman from the mountains once told the young Guru. Value does not equal time spent. The time spent is what shall be valued.